order this regular meeting of the Minnehaha County Planning Commission. I will begin with a few additional comments for this meeting. Any final action taken tonight on conditional use permit requests will take effect 5 working days following this meeting unless a written appeal of the Planning Commission's decision is filed in the planning office by Monday, February 29th at 5 p.m. In the event of an appeal, the decision will be referred to the County Commission for a hearing on Tuesday, March 15th at or after 9 a.m. in this same room. Any final action taken on the rezoning request tonight will be referred to the County Commission for a public hearing on Tuesday, March 22nd at 9:15 a.m. Meetings of the County Commission are held in this same room. Are there any objections from the Planning Commission members to any items listed on the consent agenda?
Madam Chair, I think there are a couple that I'll want, but can we wait until we list them before we call them out?
That would be fine. At this time, we will consider the consent agenda. The minutes from the January 25th, 2016 meeting are also included as part of the consent agenda. Are there any objections from the Planning Commission to any item listed on the consent agenda? Okay, at this time, the Planning Commission will consider the consent agenda. The minutes from the January 25th meeting are included as part of this consent agenda. I will now read each item on the consent agenda. If any member of the audience objects to anything on any of these items, and you would like to discuss any of these items on the consent agenda, please raise your hand and the item will be moved to the regular agenda. That will allow you to ask questions or submit comments to the Planning Commission later in the meeting.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Just to reiterate that point, if an item is left on the consent agenda, it'll be approved without any discussion. So if there's something you want to talk about, make sure to raise your hand when that item number is listed. Thank you.
Okay, I will read through each of these items. Number 1 is the approval of the minutes of January 25th, 2016. Item number 2 is a rezoning, 16-01, to rezone Dawson's Track 2, the southeast quarter, and it is going to be from A1 Agricultural District to the C Commercial District. This is at 25773 472nd Avenue, approximately 2 miles north of Sioux Falls.
I'd like to discuss that one, Madam Chair.
Okay, so for that one. Item number 3 is conditional use permit 16-04. This is approximately 2 miles west of Sioux Falls. It is to amend a condition number 5 of Cup 08-78 for rock, sand, and gravel extraction to allow single unit trucks to legally gross over the posted limit of the bridge north of the pit exit to travel south on 467th to State Highway 42. Item number 4 is conditional use permit 16-05 to allow establishment of a public utility metering pumping facility for the Lewis and Clark Regional Water System. This is approximately 1 mile west of Crooks. Item number 5, conditional use permit 16-06 to exceed 1,200 square feet of total accessory building area. They are requesting 4,000 square feet on the property legally described as Tract 4, Beckett's Addition. That is at 26751 465th Avenue. That is at approximately 4 miles west of Sioux Falls. Item number 6 is a conditional use permit 16-07 to allow a Class C hog CAFO. That is 960 animal units on the property legally described as, well, it's actually northwest of 248th Street and 480th Avenue intersection, approximately 5 miles southeast of Del Rapids.
Madam Chair, I'd like to discuss that one a little bit.
Item number 7, conditional use permit 16-08 to transfer one building eligibility This is approximately 2.5 miles east of Humboldt. Item number 8, conditional use permit 16-09 to make available 3 building eligibilities on the property legally described as it's approximately 2.5 miles east of Humboldt, north of South Dakota Highway 38. Item number 9, it's a rezoning 16-02 to rezone east 464 feet of a property that is located southwest corner of South Dakota Highway 42 and 483rd intersection, approximately 3 miles east of Sioux Falls.
Staff would like to hold that
Hold
up.
that one. And item number 10, conditional use permit 16-10 to exceed 1,200 square feet of total accessory building area. They are requesting 11,524 square feet. This is at 26175 463rd Avenue. That is approximately 1.5 miles south of Hartford. Okay. Apparently we are going to pull number 2, number 6, and number 9. From the consent agenda to the regular agenda. I need a motion to approve number 1, number 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 10.
So moved. Second.
I've got a motion and a second to approve those items to be on the consent agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. So those of you that are here that have, there's no opposition for any of those, you are free to leave. That means that they've been approved. Except for item number 2, number 6, and 9.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, item number 2 is a rezoning request 16-01. This is to rezone a 3.89 acre parcel from A1 agriculture to C commercial district. The property is generally described as a couple miles north of Sioux Falls. This is at the Crooks exit. You can see the interstate is right here. Here's the on-ramp. This is the Crooks Renner Road, 258th Street, and this is the county road that's on 472nd right here. That goes up to the north. The applicant is requesting to rezone this from A1 agriculture to C commercial. The applicant has indicated that he intends to construct storage units on the property, and I've included a copy of the applicant's site plan for your review, which demonstrates his proposal for how the storage unit would be laid out. You may recall that we recently adopted our Envision 2035, the county's comprehensive plan, and that comprehensive plan encourages commercial uses at interstate interchanges and high traffic intersections, and indicates that the development should be in a nodal pattern, which is specified on as an action 1.4 on page 30 of the plan. While the applicant is only rezoning approximately 4 acres of land at this time, he owns land adjacent to the subject property and has an overall plan for his property. The Renner Crooks exit has been developing as a significant commercial industrial hub or center over the last 10 years, and there have been several rezoning requests approved at the southeast and northwest quadrant of that interchange. It is likely that commercial development and industrial development will continue in this area, and the property meets the criteria of the Envision 2035 comprehensive plan and is an expansion of the existing overall commercial zoning in the area. Staff recommends approval of the rezoning request 1601 to rezone the property from A1 agriculture to C commercial. I'll show you some general pictures of the property. There is an existing structure on the property, which is right here, and I'll show you a picture of it. This is the existing structure, which is being used right now as part of the commercial tree farm, which is an approved or allowable use in the ag district. This is the property to the south. This is the property across the street. This is looking to the north. This is looking towards the south. At this point right here, you can see the bridge on 258th Street over the top of Interstate 29. And this is directly on the west side of that existing commercial agriculture commercial building, commercial ag building, I guess I'll call it. And this is from the property looking across the interstate at the recently discussed last year, the sign from last year. So you can see there is commercial directly across the road, which is the interstate. I'd be glad to answer any questions you have.
Scott, if I may, Scott, the applicant's got a similar property to the south and on the other side of the road, right?
Yes.
And we
Yeah.
had some conditions with that, for paving and stuff. Are they done?
Yes, he's paved. He's actually exceeded the agreement that we had with him for paving.
Excellent.
So,
Is there any conditions on this property as far as paving?
well, he's not applied for a conditional use permit yet.
Okay,
This is a rezoning request, which would lay the groundwork for an eventual conditional use permit to come in to be heard by you.
gotcha.
And the applicant is here. And notification was sent out. We publish a hearing notice in all three of the local papers, which is the Argus Leader, the Messenger, and Del Rapids paper, I think. The Del Rapids Tribune, they just switch them around. And in addition to that, there's a sign that's posted on the property. And in addition to that, we send out certified letters to all property owners within 500 feet of the subject property, informing them of the hearing tonight.
Thanks, Scott.
Yep.
Is the petitioner here? Come forward, sir.
Good evening, Commissioners. Tim T-Hart, 25524, 472nd Avenue. In the notification that we sent out to the property owners within 500 feet, I did include a site plan and a letter explaining exactly what I want to do. The building is I'm gonna use the same colors and lighting as I did at the renter storage facility. So I'm just trying to get the information out exactly what my plan is.
The existing building, are you planning on leaving that, or will that be
I
destroyed?
plan on continue running my Dakota Tree Nursery out of that building. It's where I store all my equipment now.
Any other questions, petitioner?
I do plan on hard surfacing this facility also, just like runner storage.
This is a public hearing, so if you want to ask, if there's anyone in the public.
Yeah. Is there anyone here in opposition to this? I think it was in your best interest to notify your neighbors, tell them what you're doing, I think that. Yes?
I live directly to the north of this property, which I noticed the picture of our home.
Why don't you come forward, ma'am, and state your name and address, please? Yes, you can sit down, thank you.
Good evening, Ingy Richter, 25755 472nd Avenue. Our property is directly to the north of this 3.89 acres. And our question is, this is right in the middle. There's no picture of our property on here.
Yeah, this is sort of This is looking north at your property. This is looking straight north from that.
It's the back side, it's not catching the front side of the house or the road. But our question would fall into drainage. If we've got consideration for drainage on this property.
Typically, that would be something that we would discuss when they come in with their request for the conditional use permit.
Mhm. So I would ask that, when you're considering rezoning, that you take that into consideration. This is also in the middle right now of 4 residential homes.
Thank you.
Ms. Richter, if I might, so the water right now, does it flow to the south then, or?
It
does
flows to the south in front of this property.
Okay, but so it doesn't pond anywhere at this time?
Not in our ditch area, but in Mr. Tehart's ditch area, it does.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
The applicant would like to say a word in response, I guess.
Yes, report.
We are gonna have to redo a culvert that's plugged up on the driveway of this building here. And it's probably gonna have to be upsized from an 18 to a 24-inch culvert. But I'm gonna have Midwest Land Survey develop the site plan and drainage for the site.
Mr. Tier, does the water flow south from your property then normally?
It does, yes,
Okay.
to a large county culvert about 100 yards south of this building. But there is some drainage issues that have to be taken care of, so it doesn't pond in that ditch like it is now. Thank you.
Yes. Any other questions?
Any other opposition?
Any other opposition?
Make a motion to approve the rezoning from A1 to C commercial.
I'll second it.
Motion's made and seconded to approve the rezoning of 16-01 from A1 agricultural district to C commercial district. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 6. Ken?
Good evening, I'm Kevin Hookman, County Planning Department. Item number 6 is conditional use permit number 1607 to allow Class C hog CAFO, which will be 960 animal units on the property legally described as the southeast quarter of the southeast quarter and the north half of the southeast quarter in section 20, 10448. The petitioner is Nick Simmonsma, and the property owner is Ken Simmonsma, and Ken and Marcia. And the location is at the northwest intersection of 248th Street and 480th Avenue, as you can see on our map. Here you can see a little bit finer detail of the proposed location on this map. The property is approximately 4 miles to the east and 1.5 miles south of Del Rapids. The landowner currently operates an existing facility at his farm site approximately a quarter mile to the west of the proposed CAFO site. The petitioner has proposed the hog facility to hold 2,400 swine larger than 55 pounds, which is calculated at 0.4 animal units per swine per animal, so that the requested facility adds up to 960 animal units. The facility will have to comply with all provisions and requirements of the 1990 revised zoning ordinance. The site plan is a very important aspect of CAFOs. And the site plan is nice and detailed with building plans as well. The plan includes the landowner's address and the description of the property and the name of the business. It includes the required scale and north arrow. The site plan has no current buildings on it and includes the one proposed building. The site plan includes the dimensions of all the buildings. It will be 101 feet by 193 feet building. The site plan doesn't include all the distances of property lines, but the property itself is very large in comparison to the site. But the approximate distance from the building to the road, when measured with a scale, is 125 feet from the building to the road, or to the property line, on the south side. The site plan is required to have the building height and the number of stories. The petitioner has submitted section drawings of the building from the side perspective. There's no height included in the section drawings, it just includes the floor. There's going to be a pit underneath for manure, and then the slatted floor where the swine will be housed. And the staff would like to note that although agriculturals are exempt from height requirement, it's important that the character of the surrounding area is kept, and recommends that the construction be a maximum 50 feet, and it should be possible to maintain that height. The dimensions of all property lines, again, that's similar to the dimensions of the distances. The petitioner's the site plan is very much smaller than the property itself, so not all the property lines are included on the site plan. And then parking lots, there are no parking per se because it's not a commercial use, but as you can see in the site plan, that there is a loading area on the west side of the parking the area, and it also includes an 18-inch culvert plan for the driveway as part of the parking lot and the driveways. The site plan is also going to include landscaping, which he has here. He said that it has been noted that he has been working with the NRCS to determine grass and tree species that will work best with the location. As part of this, it also include a grading plan. You can see on here the contours that they're going to be filling in some dirt on this side and having I believe it was a 4-to-1 slope to allow water to drain away from the building. And then as final part of the site plan, the location description of the animal waste facilities. As I mentioned, there's going to be the waste facility is going to be underneath and it's going to be a slatted floor, and it's going to hold manure underneath the facility. In relation to the site plan, 960 animal unit will require a 1,980-foot buffer from dwelling, church, school, or business. The setback maps submitted by the petitioner shows that the CAFO has met this requirement. In a similar manner, the CAFOs require a pest control plan as well as a pest control plan, and the petitioner has included that flies will be controlled with bait and adhesives in the manure and additives in the manure, and then rodents will be controlled with traps and baits along the walls of the facility. Odor management is part of the required thing for part of the CAFO application. The petitioner has submitted the South Dakota odor footprint tool, and this is the outcome, and show it for 98th percentile is that outside ring, and the current landowners, the only dwelling within that 98th percentile nuisance-free odor boundary. As part of the conditional use permit criteria, there are 5 criteria. The property has effect upon the use and enjoyment of the property in the surrounding area that has already been permitted. This is an agricultural area, and the effect of this is going to be minimal to the agricultural area already present. The effect of normal and orderly development and improvement of the surrounding vacant property for predominant uses in the area. As this area goes into the future, we'll likely see that it remains ag with potential for more housing units. However, they will have to sign the right to farm covenant notice as part of their moving into next to this area. The utilities, access road, drainage, and other necessary facilities are provided. The petitioner has proposed one driveway off of 248th Street, And the site plan includes the 18-inch culvert. The petitioner just submitted tonight that the township is aware of the plans and that they are okay with it. And the proposed grading plan generally slopes downhill to the east and is sufficiently far away from the intermittent stream. The off-street parking and loading requirements are met. As you saw in the previous site plan, that there is meeting that, and there will be gravel surface. And measurements are taken to control odor, fumes, dust, noise, and vibration, so that none of these will constitute a nuisance. It is inherent in the nature of a CAFO that has potential to create nuisances if not managed property. This is especially true for odors, fumes, and dust. The petitioner has submitted management plans that seem sufficient for this area at reducing the nuisances. Health, safety, and general welfare of the public in the comprehensive plan. The proposed CAFO will have to comply with the conditions of the permit and the regulations of the 1990 revised zoning ordinance of the county. These rules and regulations are designed to allow development while preventing much of the potential harms the CAFO may create. Staff finds the proposed CAFO is acceptable land use under the comprehensive plan and recommends approval for the conditional use permit number 1607 with the following conditions. The facility shall be limited to 960 animal units in size. Number 2, the CAFO shall comply with the applicable regulations of county zoning ordinance. Number 3, the facility shall conform to the submitted site plans. Any minor changes may be approved by the planning director at Minnehaha County Planning Department. Major changes will require amendment to this permit in a public hearing. 4, a manure containment facility must be in conformance with South Dakota Department of Environment and Natural Resources design standards for any newly constructed waste containment facility. A registered professional engineer shall certify the plan specifications and construction of the facility. Number 5, approval must be obtained by the township for the construction of new road access. Number 6, all driveways, parking, and loading areas within the CAFO site must comply with minimum standards that are listed in section 15.04 of the zoning ordinance for Minnehaha County. Number 7, an address sign must be purchased at the planning department in place of the driveway of the facility. Number 8, the proposed barn shall have engineered certified drawings that shall be submitted for review by the building inspector prior to the issuance of a building permit. Number 9, a building permit is required for all structures prior to construction. And number 10, that the planning and zoning department reserves the right to enter and inspect the CAFO at any time after proper notice to the owner to ensure that the property is in full compliance with the conditional use permit conditions of approval in Minnehaha County zoning ordinance. I can't go over some pictures, but honestly, it's a lot of snow. So this is looking to the west of the landowner's farm. This is looking to the east from approximately the driveway location. Looking north from the intersection. And this is looking kind of crosswise to the east across the property, so the CAFO will be kind of the distance there. Any questions?
Is the petitioner here? You come forward, sir.
My name is Nick Simmonsma, 47832 Pipestone Street, Grand Rapids. And I guess I'd like to add that currently there are no hogs on my dad's place right now. And I guess I just graduated from SSU last May and trying to get into farming, so I thought maybe just build a hog barn. Kind of hard to find land out that way, so any questions or anything?
Madam Chair. I just want to say it's to your credit that you turned in such a well-designed proposal, because honestly, we've been getting them drawn by hand on empty feed bags, and this is a step up from what we've seen before. So good work at SDSU. Let me also say that in looking at some of the conditions there, there's the one about a fence around the dead hogs there. I told this story earlier today, but you're supposed to have a pad with some boards around it for, anyway, we had another proposal a couple years back, and they were doubling the size of their operation, and the planning guys here wanted to go from a 3-foot fence to a 6-foot fence. And the farmer said that none of the dead hogs had jumped the 3-foot fence yet. So we let it stay at 3 foot. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out and thank you for your application.
Anyone else? Thank you, sir.
All right.
Any opposition? Sir, will you come forward? State your name and where you live.
I'm a neighbor that lives to the north, and I'm not, the main thing I'm concerned about is just the manure management plan, that it's followed and stuff like that. That's the only thing I'm concerned about, and that the pit doesn't leak and things like that. I mean, we live in a livestock community, so that's the only thing I'm concerned about.
He'll need to give us his name and address for the record.
What's that?
You'll need your name and address for the record.
Jerome Garrett, 4801 Old 247th Street.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Jeff.
So staff, and this is to you, you guys would be making sure that the treatment or the plan for manure disposal was being done correctly, and that
Yes.
the pit was intact after 6 weeks of use, etc.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to ask that of staff. But
I guess, and then I am working with the engineering firm, so he'll be out there before they pour, and then he'll be doing tests too, so they'll be done right.
Thank you. Any other opposition?
I can't hear.
Commissioners?
I would make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion's made and seconded to approve conditioner's permit 16-07 to allow a Class C hog depot on the property at Northwest of 248th and 480th, about 5 miles southeast of Del Rapids. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Madam Chairman, on number 9, the applicant failed to send out the hearing notices. So we can give you all of the details, but it's going to have to be continued to the next meeting so we can meet the legal publication requirements. So I would ask that you make a motion to continue to the March meeting. It's the 24th.
That's my motion.
To the
Second.
March meeting.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to, what did you want to do with this, John?
Continue to the March
Continue
meeting.
till next month. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Is the applicant even here for that?
I am representing the petitioner, and I was,
Come on up.
Please state your name and your address, please.
my name is Christy Long, 601 West Cherish, Chief, South Dakota, and I'm representing Jason Klein, and we were requesting to defer 1 month.
That's what they did for you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, for the sake of the minutes, it probably should reflect that I recused myself on the hog building.
Yep.
I think the chair knew and staff knew, but just should be reflected in the
Yep.
minutes, please.
Scott, you have anything else?
No, I don't have any old business or new business for you. Or I don't also no county commission items, so.
You just need a motion to adjourn, right?
Move to adjourn. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And is Mike someplace fun tonight?
Texas.